So in the words of Henry Ford, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Henry Ford, I'm sure most of us are familiar with his brand of vehicle, did not start out successful. The first two businesses that he was involved in failed. And there are just so many examples of successful people that had a lot of failures before they succeeded. So failure is a matter of perception. And that is why Henry Ford said, failure is an opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. He failed in his first business, failed in his second business, but the third one thrived. And today we have his brand of cars that so many people are driving. And a very similar example is Thomas Edison, who made the light bulb. Story had it that he tried it like 10,000 times before he was able to come up with success. And every time he was hacked, he said, I did not fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 times that it would not work. And that is really deep. And that tells us that failure is a matter of perception. And it's important for us to know that no matter how many times we have failed in the past, we should not let this discourage us. All around us, we see successful people turn their failures into successes. And that is why today we are going to be looking at turning our failures into successes. However, let's be real here. Nobody wants to fail before succeeding. That's just the truth. If I'm given the opportunity to do something 100 times, I would rather choose to succeed 100 times each time I do it, rather than fail sometimes and then succeed later. That's just the human nature. We want to succeed. We don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want to be seen as failures. We don't want to be seen as somebody who tried something that did not work out. However, history shows us that that's the real life. We've just all got to grapple with failing and turning that failure around for our good if we are really going to succeed greatly in life. And that is why the title today is Fuel Your Success with Failure, which means it doesn't matter how many times you fail. Just like Thomas Edison said, 10,000 times, I did not fail. Rather, I learned something that was not working. So that is the perception I want all of us to have today about areas of life where we are struggling. I know also, failures or areas of struggle may not necessarily weigh the same, but irrespective of this, what we are going through, but I know it's unique for every person. What we all go through is different. Our purpose is different. So also our unique failures, all the things we have to pass through to get to success is also unique to everyone. And that is why everybody has to be on his own lane and run his own race, or run her own race, be on our own lane and run our own race, so that eventually we can learn from things for which we are struggling and do better on those areas next time. So fuel your success with failure is the topic today, which means we can learn how to utilize areas of struggle, areas of challenge, areas that is termed failure in quote, to fuel the success that follows it. And I'm going to be sharing with us a personal example of something I experienced and how I was able to turn the failure into success. And after that, I'm going to use the MAP lamp principle, MAPLAMP, to see how we could use this framework to be able to succeed irrespective of the failure that we're experiencing right now. So the personal example that I would like to share to explain how I was able to turn failure into success has to do with grant writing applications. So before I left Nigeria for my PhD in the United States, one of the main things I wanted to learn during my 5-year PhD was to be able to write grants successfully. Tried a few before I left Nigeria, they weren't just working out. So I felt, okay, I needed more experience. I needed to take classes on grant writing. So coming to the US, of course, took some classes at some point, discussed with my mentor about my intention to learn how to write grants, how to successfully bid for grants. So opportunities came. The very first opportunity, if I'm remembering clearly, was a $500 grant. I applied, but I didn't get it. I would call that was a failure. The second opportunity came, I think 2015, 16. All of this was between the years 2015, 2016. The second opportunity came around, this time it was 1,500. And I remember trying it in 2015, repeating it again in 2016, but my application was not funded. Then the third opportunity came, a little more money. This one was $10,000. I also tried applying, I think once or twice, I can't remember clearly right now. But the point is, I had like minimum of 5 applications of grants, 500, 1,500, $10,000 grants, but all of them consistently failed, 2015, 2016. Then there came a big opportunity. And this is honestly really funny because at times, one lesson I learned from that is at times we are not necessarily maybe selling ourselves short, or maybe, you are working so hard to get something that is 1,500 or 10,000 or even 500, whereas God has a plan for $500,000 for you. It will interest you that the very first grant that I got funded in my PhD program was about $500,000. Yes, that is it. It was an NIH grant, the gold standard of grants that anybody would really want. Honestly, I never saw this opportunity when I was trying the 5,000, trying the 10,000, trying the 1,500, trying the 500. This opportunity was not there. I never saw it. But it just came sometimes in 2016. I saw it. I'm like, oh, this looks like a good opportunity. And I put it in for it, and boom, it worked the very first time. I got a very great score on the grant, and it was funded. It was meant to be a 6-year grant. But the point I'm making is, while I tried 500 and I failed, I tried 1,500 and I failed, I tried 10,000 and I failed. It was when I tried grant that was close to $500,000. That was the one that worked, which was supposed to last for 6 full years. So the point I'm making from this is, if I had quit attempting after trying for 500, or I said quit attempting after trying for 1,500, or quit attempting after failing and trying for 10,000, perhaps I would never get the $500,000. So the idea is, irrespective of how many times something does not work out, it doesn't mean it will never work out. It might just be that the ripe opportunity for you is not yet there. The one that will work out for you has just not yet come. And I believe that as you keep taking steps and making progress, the very opportunity that will be the best one for you, the $500,000 type of grants, will surely come your way as you keep trying. Never give up. Like Thomas Edison, he never gave up. 10,000 times he kept trying. Like Henry Ford, he never gave up. The first business failed, he tried again. The second business failed, he tried again. Remember Michael Jordan? He was cut out of basketball in his high school team. Who knew he would become so great in basketball in the future? So the point we're making is, it doesn't matter how many times you have failed. Don't let that define you. Learn from it. Become better from it. And I believe your future is definitely great as you take the steps. So my name is Wole Babatunde, a 4th-year resident in psychiatry in Greer, South Carolina. And I'm the creator of the content Adapt and Advance. Adapt and Advance is the title for my upcoming book that is planned to launch 1st of June 2025. I'm excited about it. I've completed the first draft December 17, 2024. Finished my first self-edit December 31st, and I'm on track to finish my second self-edit January 31st, and it goes to professional editing in February. So I'm excited, and I believe it's going to be out powerfully, definitely as planned, June 1st, 2025. In addition to these, the Adapt Advance is also the name of the online community that is being built, where we post videos people watch every week. Currently, the schedule is to post a video every Friday, Adapt and Advance, using the principles from the book about to publish. In addition to that, I have a very short one also posted on Sundays too. The whole idea is to make sure that we keep growing together and we keep doing well together, adapting and advancing to the challenges of life that we encounter. The reason I say all this is because I'm also going to use the MapLamp framework, which is the main framework in the book about to be published. MapLamp, M standing for meaning making, A standing for action, P standing for planning, the L is standing for learning, A standing for alliance, M standing for mission statements, personal one, and then the final one is P, which is prayers. So every time we talk, I'm going to use that MapLab principle to explain things to us, and just to let us know that, to give us more control over the things we are going through, and that we could always use these principles to help us to succeed in everything that we are doing. So in the next couple minutes, I'm going to just show us how I used the MapLamp principle to turn the failure that I had in writing grants into a successful grant eventually. And I assure you that this is something that you can also do for yourself, and it's something that works on any area of life. And we get right to business looking at MapLamp right now. Okay, so the MapLamp, the first M, or the first letter is M, which is meaning making. Like I said, there are many ways to make meaning of the things we are going through. But personally, one of the best way I make meaning from things is from the Bible, because I just believe I get a Bible verse or a word that helps me to overcome failure, or that assures me of success, irrespective of whatever I'm going through. And specifically, the one I want to use today is Micah 7 verse 8, which helped me during that period, which says, if I do not rejoice over me, if I fall, I will rise again. If I fall, I will rise again, which means if I fail, I have the opportunity to come up from that failure and to do better in the future. And which means, we learn from it. That does not mean that, we do things to fail. Of course, we put in our best to do things to succeed. It's not like, they say failure can be turned into a foil for success. But at the same time, although it's possible and it's something, it's not like we go fishing for failure. We put our best into everything we do, but whatever the outcome, we could use the outcome. But if it's not the desired outcome that we want, we could use it to serve as a fuel for us, to be able to succeed in the things that we need to do in the future. So that's, for me, meaning making is Micah 7:8, which is, if I fall, I will rise again, abridged. And the next one is action. I always love the word massive action, which I got from one of the books I read recently. For action, for me, specifically using the example I gave, it means after I made the application for 500 or for 1,500 or for 10,000, and the outcome was like, oh, sorry, you know how those emails look like. We regret to inform you. We regret to inform you that you were not selected, to be funded for these grants. When I get any of those emails, I always know, okay, I've got to take action again. I kept doing it again. I remember specifically, I think the 1,500 one was applied at least twice. I tried it again the next year. I got that email of regret. We regret to inform you. Those are emails we really don't love to get, but of course, at times it does happen. So using action, I have to write. It takes time. It takes effort. You can't just sit down and say, okay, I failed, and fold your hands. I'm not going to do anything again. Nothing will happen that way. You've got to take steps, that will show that at least you are making efforts, at least from your own end. So that's A. Then P is planning. Of course, it needs a lot of planning. I was then a PhD student of epidemiology, and I had many other commitments in my life, including family commitments, non-family commitments, church commitments, community commitments, but I knew I needed to carve out time to write grants. It's one of the main reasons I decided to come for my PhD in the United States, so I could learn how to successfully write grants. So every year I always came up with an idea like, okay, how many grant submissions am I making this year? 1, 2, 3. And I earmark them and I work towards them, sit down and put in my best to make sure that they succeed as much as I can. But I kept getting one rejection after another, one rejection after another. This brings us to L, which is learning. I strongly believe in learning, which is very important for us. Specifically using the example I'm giving today, I took time to take a class called grant writing during all of those periods, just to sharpen my skills about grant writing. I already made some applications before I took the class. So, of course, one of the reasons I took the class was because I was failing in that area of my life and I wanted to succeed. So I took a class on grant writing. And I also had a weekly meeting with my mentor. Shout out to Dr. Adams at that time. And, she had successful grant applications from the past. So she was able to keep mentoring me, keep teaching me, keep helping me. Not that she wasn't mentoring me on the ones I failed or that I didn't get, but of course, we worked together to put in the best. We kept working together to make sure we get it. So there's power in learning. There's this book by NIH that I also bought on grant writing applications too that I was able to use for subsequent grant writing. So learning is key. Anything area of life where we are not doing well, we need to take a step back and say, why am I not doing well? What can I learn from this? Not just accept that things will always be the way it was, or there's no way for us to keep going forward. So that is the L aspect for learning. And then after learning, we now come back to the alliance again, coming back to working closely with my mentor, working closely with other people that were also planning to submit grants at that time. We kept learning together. There were some meetings I had to attend online, and there were even some conferences and whenever I go for conferences, even till now, I always go to places where I could learn specifically about grant submission because it was something I wanted to learn about. So all of this helped me to form relationships with people that matter. And I remember specifically there were conferences where I met people for the first time and I told them my intention and they were very supportive. I remember getting a specific person at the conference who wrote a letter for me of recommendation, though it wasn't my institution, but I just met him at a conference and we worked closely. We talked together. I told him my desires and my dreams. So you can't do it live alone. Whatever area it is, whatever area you're having challenges with, you need to form alliance with people that are succeeding in that area so that they can help you. And that brings us to M, which is mission statement. Like I said, I write mission statement for everything. A mission statement is just simple. What are you working with? It's kind of like setting your goals. Like I said, okay, this year I'm going to write this grant. I want a grant worth $50,000, whatever it is that you want. You need to make it clear and write it clear right before you. There's a Bible verse that says that you write the vision, you should make it plain so that whoever sees the vision will run with it. So you've got to be willing to run. The only way you can run with something is when you have it right before you. So for me, I always have things written down all the time that keeps me on my toes, running. I always have the next thing I want to achieve. How many books I want to sell, how many, what are the scores I want to get on my exams, whatever it is, have a mission statement for that area you are failing. That okay, this year or whatever time period, what you want to achieve specifically, you got to put it before you. And then the last one is prayers. I said I believe strongly in prayers. I believe there's a force beyond us that makes things work for us. So you might need, to employ that and ask for the goodwill of him that made you. So that brings us to the end of the MAP plan principle. So I used all those principles at that time. And after a rejection for the $500 grant, after rejections, multiple years for the $1,500 grant, after rejections, also even for the $10,000 grant, I was eventually able to get funded for the $500,000 grant that spanned an area of 6 years. An NIH grant, National Institute of Health. So I was extremely happy. And that helped to my career to complete the last 2 years of my PhD and, also my postdoc period. All of that was completely funded and covered by that grant. So the point I'm making is don't give up failing. If it has to be 10,000 times, like Thomas Edison, don't give up. I think that's a lot too much. But whatever the number is, I believe we all have unique purposes. We are talking about him today, Thomas Edison, because he kept at it. So hopefully they will talk about you too in the future. Um, I will say something. If there is nothing that will be said about me, so many things will be said or not said about me. But one thing I'm 100% sure that I don't want to be said about me, that I gave up at any time. So please don't give up, don't give in. And I strongly believe that the best is yet to come for you. Key takeaways. Remember, we started with the words of Thomas Edison, that failure is the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So keep that in mind. Keep that before you all the time. Failure is the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So it's not an opportunity for you to like cry and give up or give in. It's an opportunity to begin again. So we can learn from it, move forward, adapt and advance, irrespective of the failures that we experience in our life. Remember the map lab principle. Whatever area you want to grow in, use it. And I strongly believe it's going to help us to keep growing together. Finally, final words. If this video has blessed you in any way, I want you to like it. I want you to share with friends and family that you believe will also benefit from it. I want you to share in the comments, one area of failure that you've been able to turn around, or share in the comments whatever you want to share about this video that's going to be a blessing to other people. Like I said, it's about a community we are building where we can keep encouraging and cheering each other on to succeed greatly in life. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you have not. If you have, thank you. And for all the support that I've gotten from everyone that has been part of this work, Adapt and Advance, whether the book coming out soon, or the videos that have been released, or whatever it is, whatever you've done, or encouragement, and I say a big thank you to everyone. So remember to like, share, leave comments in, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.